Building a niche in 2025. Where do you start? I'm going to show you exactly where to start. If you're an insurance agency owner or looking at becoming an insurance agency owner, maybe you're just an insurance agent. So let's get started. Before we do, make sure to share, subscribe, and like the channel below. Hi, I'm Chris with Niche Your Business, and I have been building insurance niches for more than a decade now. I started the Flood Insurance Guru from scratch back in 2015. Didn't have a single lead. Had to figure out how to get leads. And I did that through figuring out my niche and figuring out my messaging through inbound marketing. I'm really dialing in my messaging to my target audience. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a niche for an insurance agency here in 2025. And here's a secret. I would do it completely different today than I did a decade ago. So let's talk about this here today. When we're building a niche now, a lot of people say, well, Chris, you went just flood, this wouldn't work today. Look, it would still work today because of the way we do the messaging. However, would it be much more challenging? Yes. So the ways that I'm going to show you how to do this today, I think you're going to have much more success with. You see, when I went flood only almost a decade ago, I walked away from every other product and went flood only. It was just me. But you don't have to do it that way. You don't have to do things as hard as I did, going with that uphill battle. So here's how exactly I would do it. I would go in and I would do an umbrella brand. We're gonna have our kind of generic brand. And think about it as like audience and micro audience. So we're gonna have our generic brand, or what you would call our umbrella brand. And then I might have different niches under that brand. So for example, I might have Community First Agency, because that's one of my LLCs, as my umbrella brand. And then I might have particular things for commercial trucking under there. I might have the Flood Insurance Guru under there. I might have a different department that dials in each niche, having their own website. And you really have a brand that exists within another brand, which is where the whole umbrella brand comes from. But they all come back up to that main company. Now, these individual brands may be marketing themselves differently and uniquely, and that's okay, because they're building that brand individually. So as you go through this here in 2025, you want to think about this. Hey, what niches do I want to do? And look, you can also, in the description of this video, find kind of our niche finder to help you understand what niche you want to pick in the insurance industry and maybe why you want to pick it. For me, it was flood, because I had an educational background in flood. I had a major problem with flood when I bought a house. So my story is part of the niche that I built and still built to this day. You see, because unlike most other people who have left the insurance agency, I still work in it every day. So I see the struggles of still building a niche here in 2025 with artificial intelligence and all these different changes. So in 2025, you want to think about umbrella brand and then what I will call micro brands underneath there for your niches. So whether it be commercial trucking, and you could have your niches, your commercial trucking, and you could down niche even more than that on just haulers. And you see, as you start to dial in these niches, now you can really start working on the messaging, and what our trust and growth framework is what we call, as you figure out who your customer is, what the problems they're having are, what does bottom of the funnel content look like, what does top of the funnel content look like, what does this whole customer journey look like. But in order to do this, we've got to understand what niches are we going to offer, what audiences are we going to have, and what micro audiences are we going to have. And in the description of this video, you can also find our audience builder if you need help with that, if you're an insurance agent. So this is exactly how I would do things here in 2025. If you want to reach out to me and you need help building a niche or figuring out where to get started, maybe on your video marketing or the messaging for your audience, my contact information is in the bottom of this video. I'm Chris with Niche Your Business. I want to say thank you for watching today's video on how I would build an insurance niche here in 2025.